Hey guys, welcome to Alex Goes Coconuts. So today I'm going to talk about all my favorite travel products. Now all these products are available to buy on Amazon, and I will put a link in the description box down below for each one of them if you are looking to purchase them. So for those of you who are new to my channel, you might not know I'm an international buyer, so I travel for work all the time. So I am constantly traveling. These are items that I keep going back to every time I travel, no matter what kind of trip I'm taking, whether it's for work or for pleasure. Okay, so let's get to it. The first item I want to talk to you about is a good suitcase. Nowadays, traveling has become so expensive. Checking in a suitcase is becoming more and more of a rarity. So I highly recommend you get yourself a good carry-on bag like this. I know there's a lot of people who are promoting the ones from Amazon or the cheaper versions. You can go ahead and do that if you don't travel a lot. But if you're somebody like me who's planning on taking more than 1 or 2 trips in a year, definitely get yourself a good quality roll-on suitcase. Now this one is from Samsonite. It has served me well for years. The wheels are really good on it. The zippers are really well made so they won't break, and the handle is nice and sturdy, so you're sure that it's not going to break on you while you're traveling. I like this one specifically because when I'm traveling to Asia, this one fits quite a lot of luggage. Now, when I'm taking a local flight, usually the luggage size is a little bit smaller, so I opt for this one. So what I do is before my flight, I always check the size that I'm allowed to bring, and I choose the right suitcase for that flight. Now, this one is from Swiss Gear. It's just as good as the Samsonite one. It also has really great wheels, really sturdy handles, and it's a hard shell, so if your suitcase gets wet, it won't go through and wet the rest of your clothes. Another really great investment, if you're somebody who travels a lot, is a luggage scale like this. If you are checking in your bag, you definitely want to weigh your luggage before going to the airport to make sure that you're not overpacked. They will penalize you if your luggage goes over the allotted weight. So I'll usually weigh the luggage when I leave, and I'll also throw this into the suitcase and I'll weigh it on my way back. Often when I'm traveling, I'll bring back souvenirs or gifts for the kids, and I want to make sure that my luggage is still not overweight. If not, I redistribute the stuff in my luggage to make sure that it passes when I'm at the airport. The second thing I like to bring is a little travel duffel bag like this. This I'll often carry as my second bag when I'm carrying the roll-on suitcase. This has a little pocket in the back that slips onto the handles of the suitcase. So when you're traveling, you don't have to carry this on you. What I like also about this specific duffel bag is that it's really large, so it fits quite a lot of things. It also has a waterproof zipper at the back, which is really great. I often use this for wet bathing suits or for my shoes if I don't want, my shoes to dirty the rest of the contents of the bag. So another really great travel bag that I highly recommend buying if you are taking a trip. The next bag I recommend is a little camping backpack. So it's super lightweight. It's made of resistant material. What's fun about this is that because it's so small and lightweight, it easily fits in my luggage. It also has a bottle holder, which is really essential. Because it's so lightweight, it doesn't weigh anything on my back, so it's super comfortable to walk around with for long periods of time. So any theme park, any sightseeing, I always bring this little backpack. Another little bag that I like to bring with me when I'm traveling is a little fanny pack like this. These are just so practical. If you want to keep your valuables close to you, this allows you to put it around your waist or to carry it like this around your shoulder. And this is the perfect size just to carry a few items. Everything fits in this bag really easily, and it's easy to access when you're traveling. All right, the next thing that I always travel with is a passport holder like this. This one is great because it's waterproof, so if ever you have the mishap of spilling some water on it or it gets dirty, you can just wipe this with a little cloth. It holds up to 4 passports, which is perfect when I'm traveling with my family. It also has a spot to hold your money. It has a spot for credit cards. and it also has a pen holder. So this is great. I always leave the pen in there when I'm traveling in case I have to fill out forms or sign something. I'll always have a pen on me. And it also has a little zipper pocket at the back so that you can put some change in here. It comes with a little wrist bracelet like this so that you can ensure that you don't lose it when you're navigating that airport. The next thing I always travel with is always an iPad and my iPhone. I'll download movies, shows, books, games. Everything's downloaded onto this. In case a flight is delayed, I'll have something to entertain me and to pass time. Same thing with your phone. If you don't have an iPad, you can do the same thing with your phone. And what's great about a phone is that it also has a built-in camera, so you can use this as your camera when you're traveling. Now, if you are bringing your devices, you're definitely gonna wanna bring an external battery pack. Now, personally, I like this one from the company Amper. This is the Jet Pack, and what I like about this one is that it's magnetic, so it just sticks to my phone like that, and my phone is charging right now. There's no wires dangling, and it's super slim, so it doesn't take a lot of room, but it also has 2 jacks at the bottom, so you can charge other devices with it. Now, another thing I always travel with is this 3-in-1 magnetic charger. What's great about this is that it's super travel friendly. As you can see, it really doesn't take up a lot of room. It can charge up to 3 devices at the same time, so this is perfect. Once I arrive at my hotel room, I set this up, and then at night, I can just put all 3 of my devices on this. So there's a spot to charge my phone with, there's a spot to charge my Apple Watch, and there's a spot to charge my AirPods. It's super small and lightweight, and I can easily throw this into my bag while traveling. Now, to carry all my wires and all my electronics, I like to use this little electronic organizer. This one is great because it's super thin and flat, so it fits right into my backpack or into my duffel bag, and it's easy to pull out and to access any wires or devices I need during my travels. So this one has 2 flaps. There's the front flap here that holds all the different wires, and the flap in the back actually comes with a little pocket here that's velcroed, so any smaller items like that will stay protected, and it has 2 little spaces here for larger devices. So a super practical travel organizer when traveling. Now, when I'm taking shorter flights, I'll usually just bring my AirPods, but when I am taking longer flights, I like to bring headphones instead of AirPods, just because they're more comfortable to wear on longer periods. And what's cool about these ones is it does come with a little wire, so you can plug this into the airplane jack. If not, these are Bluetooth. What's fun about these ones is that they fold up and they come with a little case to protect the headphones in. But either way, whether you bring headphones or earphones, you definitely want to bring something to listen to your own entertainment without bothering other passengers, and it'll save you some money. It'll keep you from buying headphones on the plane that they overcharge for. And the next thing I recommend is this product. This is called the iFlex, and what's kind of cool about it is that you can bend this in any shape. I use this on the plane to hold up my iPad or to hold up my phone without it falling. You can also hook this using the tray, so it'll hold up your phone so you can watch your shows at eye level, especially if you're taking a longer flight. It's just not comfortable to be staring down at your iPad or at your phone. What's great about this too is that I often use it as a place to, put my devices while they're charging. It's super thin and flat, so it slips into my backpack or my duffel bag, and it doesn't take any room. All right, the next thing on my list is a little neck pillow. I only use a neck pillow if I'm taking a long haul flight. Any flight that's less than 5 hours, I won't even bother bringing this because it's just an extra thing that you have to carry, and it just takes up too much room when I'm traveling. But if you are taking a long haul flight and you're gonna be sleeping on the plane, definitely bring yourself a neck pillow. Any kind is fine, just as long as you have something to help you sleep on the plane, especially when you're taking those long flights. The next thing on my list is a little travel blanket. I got this travel blanket from the company Gravel. What's really cool about this travel blanket specifically is that it's super thin and lightweight. It's got these little snaps all over the blanket, so you can actually snap this around your neck while you're on the flight, and you can cover yourself really well in the seat. And that way you're fully covered and the blanket won't fall off while you're sleeping. Another great thing about this blanket is it's got a little pocket here, so you can put your like iPhone in here while you're sleeping. And another great thing is that this pocket, if you turn it inside out and you stuff the blanket inside the pocket, you can transform this blanket into a pillow, which is so practical. So this is a really great travel blanket, especially if you're somebody who travels a lot like myself. These are great for long haul flights, or if you know that you're gonna be in the plane for a long time and it's gonna get cold in that plane. It's a super practical thing to travel with. Now, if I'm taking a long flight, I always bring that blanket. But if I'm taking a shorter flight and I'm just flying a couple of hours in the plane, I'll forego the blanket and just bring a little shawl like this one. The shawl is perfect because you can wear this as a scarf while you're traveling if you get cold. But what's great is on the plane, you can use the shawl as a little blanket to cover yourself up if you get cold. I like to get one like this that's white or black, something that'll go with many different outfits. And it's just such a practical thing to own when you're traveling, and nobody ever talks about this. The next item on my list is a toiletry bag. Now, I've traveled with lots of different types of toiletry bags, but this one definitely is my favorite. This one is from the company BagSmart. What I like about it is that it opens up into 4 different compartments, and it has a little hook on the back, so you can hook this on any hook in any bathroom or even on the door, which is super practical when you're traveling, just because it doesn't take up any counter space. And because there's clear windows, you can see exactly where your products are at, and they're easily accessible. And it's the perfect size whether you're traveling alone or whether you're traveling with a family. But when I'm traveling alone, because it has a soft shell, if you don't put a lot of products in here, it packs really flat and narrow. And so it really doesn't take up that much room in my suitcase. Now, the next thing on my list is a TSA approved toiletry bag. When you're passing security, you will need to take out your liquids when you're traveling only with a carry-on. Now, you can use a Ziploc, but what's great about this one is it's got a super good zipper, so it's lasted me for years, and it's clear and it fits a lot of things. Now, another thing I highly recommend bringing are these squeezable travel bottles. What's fun about these one is that you can fill these up with pretty much any product that you're gonna need on your trip, and they're leak proof and they're TSA approved, so they're the right size to travel with. You won't get in trouble when you're passing security. These usually come in a pack. It usually comes with a couple of these squeezable travel bottles and these little screw-on containers like this. Now, what's great about these kind of containers is that you can put your face creams in here. So this is usually how I travel with my face creams and all my products, by using travel bottles like this. Now, another thing that I highly recommend buying for your next travel are these Steri-Pods. These are basically little caps that you put on your toothbrush to protect them from any germs. It actually comes with a little sterilizer inside each pod, and it sterilizes your toothbrush each time you use it. The next thing I like to bring is a little perfume dispenser like this. This is a travel sized one. This is just a great way to travel with perfume, to make sure that it doesn't spill in your suitcase and that you're not having to bring your full bottle with you. You can just bring this travel sized one and stick it into your liquids bag. Another thing that I've been traveling with for years is this shaver from the company Venus. This one's great. It's a travel size, and it comes with this little case to make sure that it keeps your blade clean. So each time I travel, I'll change the blade and I'll bring a brand new blade with me. And that way I can travel with this and continue shaving during my travels, but keep everything safe and compact with this little travel sized one. Another thing I always like to travel with is a wrinkle release spray. I have traveled all over the world, and sometimes an iron is not always available. So I like to have this in case of an emergency. I can just spray my clothes with it, and I can get rid of most of my wrinkles by just hanging the clothes after I spray it with this. A really great thing to travel with, especially if you're going to a country where you won't have access to irons. So the next thing that's a must for your air travel is hand cream and lip balm. It gets so dry on those planes. So I always bring some hand cream with me. That way I can moisturize my hands if they're getting dry and cracked. Same thing with the lip balm. If your lips are getting dry and painful and cracked, I always have this on hand so that I can apply it in the plane, and that way I don't arrive at my destination with completely wrecked and chapped lips. Alright, the next thing I highly recommend traveling with are Lysol wipes. This comes as a little travel pack. This is so practical when you're traveling on the plane. I use these to disinfect any surface I'm gonna touch on the plane, and I'll also use it in the hotel room. I'll like wipe off the phones and the doorknobs. It's just so practical when traveling to make sure that you stay safe and you don't get sick during your travels. Another thing I always travel with are disinfecting wipes or disinfecting gel. You definitely want to be able to sanitize your hands throughout your travels. Now, I usually prefer bringing these sanitizing wipes. These are more practical than the gel just because as a wipe, you can also use this to disinfect any kind of surface. And I find if you have something sticky on your hands and you really want to wipe the stickiness off, the wipes work so much better than the hand gel. I really like these ones from the company, Wet Ones. These come in individual packets, which makes it that much more practical when I'm traveling just because they don't dry out like the bigger packs. I've been traveling with them for years and highly recommend them. The next thing I always travel with is a little first aid kit. In case you get injured, you can attend to your wounds really quickly, and it's just practical to have no matter what kind of trip you're taking. I also like to pack a little baggie like this of all the medication I might need during my trip. I like to have everything on me so that if I do fall ill, I can take the medication right away and not have to look for a pharmacy or somewhere that sells the medication. Another thing I always travel with too is I always make sure that I bring these ginger tablets. Unfortunately, I get transportation sickness no matter what kind of transportation I take, and I find that these have worked so well for me throughout my travels. I take them before I take a bus or I get into a car. I also take them before I get onto the plane, and these help with nausea. I always go buy a new pack of this before I travel, and I bring them with me during my travel. The next thing on my list are packing cubes. There's tons of packing cubes on Amazon, and packing cubes just help you keep your suitcase so much more organized. It's also great when I'm traveling to my destination. I'll usually just take out my packing cube and throw it into a drawer. That way you don't have to take everything out of your packing cube. So packing cubes are super practical. If you are gonna choose a packing cube, just make sure you get different size packing cube. Those are the most practical when traveling. The next thing I like to throw in at the bottom of my suitcase are these travel hangers. These are great because they fold up super small, but as you can see, it gives you a full-size hanger. I often run out of hangers when I'm traveling, especially in hotel rooms. They only give you a limited amount, and I like to hang all my clothes to get rid of any wrinkles or to easily access the clothes that I want to wear for the day. So I often like to bring these on any kind of trip, especially if you're traveling with a family. It will just allow you to use those closets and free up some space in your hotel room. Now, speaking of room organization, another thing I like to throw at the bottom of my suitcase is a little travel hamper like this. What's cool is that this opens up into a full-size hamper, and this is just so practical when you're traveling because any dirty clothes you can just throw in here, and then when you're done with your travels, you just dump all your dirty clothes into your suitcase, and a great little investment if you're somebody who travels a lot. Another thing I always bring with me when I'm traveling is an outlet extender. This is great because it allows me to plug in multiple things into one outlet. It's really great in hotel rooms when you seem to always run out of places to plug in your devices. The next thing I like to bring with me are a couple of rain ponchos. You just never know if it's just gonna start raining on you when you're traveling. These are super lightweight. They're easy to throw into your backpack. In case it starts pouring on you, at least you can throw one of these on. So always practical to have when traveling. Now, even better Then a rain poncho is a really good quality rain jacket. I've had this for years. I've traveled around the world with it. This is a Columbia rain jacket. What's cool about it is that it's super breathable, but it's made with a waterproof material and it keeps me completely dry. So if it is raining all day, I can still go out and do the things I need to do without getting completely soaked. So I highly recommend, if you're somebody who travels a lot, invest in a good quality raincoat like this and it'll serve you for years to come. Another option is bringing a little travel umbrella like this. What's fun about this one is that it's so small, it fits into any bag. It can even fit into your purse when you're traveling, and it's always a great umbrella to have as a backup. It's just the perfect size and it doesn't take up a lot of room in your suitcase, so it's always practical to travel with. Another thing I always travel with is a little puffer jacket like this. I love puffer jackets just because they're so lightweight. They compress into a tiny little ball and you just throw that into your backpack. If during the day it starts getting cooler, you can put this on. It's also great if you're coming from a cold country and you're traveling to a warmer country. You can put this on in the plane to keep you warm. And then once you arrive at your warmer destination, you can just leave this in your suitcase until it's time to go back home. The next thing on my list is a cheap pair of sunglasses. When I'm traveling, I do not like to bring my expensive pair of sunglasses just because I either lose them or break them each time I travel. These ones are great. I've been traveling with them for years. This is from the company Wow Sun. I actually got both these pairs for around $15 on Amazon, so they're really affordable. Just invest in a little cheap pair, and if something happens, it's easily replaceable. All right guys, so those are pretty much all the items that I like to bring every time I travel. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any other travel recommendations, please leave a comment. I know that it always helps out my viewers, and sometimes it gives me some really great ideas for my next video. Thanks for watching guys. Happy travels!